Hey, hello, and welcome to the internet, and welcome to my channel. It's Odio, and I'm back to do another spooky review for you. It's Halloween, and we're going to be reviewing Garfield the Halloween Special. It's an all-time classic for me, and I'm going to tell you all about it. Let's get into it. So yeah, Garfield's Halloween Special. This is pretty old, from the 80s, but so am I. I used to watch this every Halloween and get excited to go trick-or-treating. We all know how it starts off. Hey, kid! Biggie the Clown. Like Garfield said, he should be drugged out in the street and shot. He wakes up Garfield this morning and says, "Do some jumping jacks, kid. Let's get in shape. It's Halloween. You got to go get candy." And Garfield shuts him off and he's like, "Wait a minute. Did Binky say candy?" And he turns him back on and he's like, "Well, I gotta work out because I gotta go get some of that loot, some of that candy. Candy. Candy.
Steady yourself, Garfield."
So we start the adventure with Garfield. Oh my goodness. I love this. We watch this every year at my house. I love Lorenzo Music as Garfield. He is the greatest of all time. When I hear his voice, that timbre voice that he's got, I know it's Garfield. I love the sarcasm and the dry wit. And I know he's not Garfield, but to me, he basically is. In all the old animated ones and the TV show, he was the voice, and I still associate him with Garfield. Bill Murray took over later a little bit. But anyway, it's great. He's here, and they have some of the best, most iconic, classic Garfield songs in this. This is The Night. Starts right off. This is the night.
This is a night.
This is the night
I was created for.
And he's getting ready for Halloween. This episode is a grand adventure. And if you haven't seen it, you're going to love the music, especially like there's so many songs in it. It's just great. And they're really good songs that have to do with the action. The animation holds up great. It's all hand drawn. Still looks like Garfield. And his quips hold up great. But yeah, just to get into it there, we'll start at the beginning. So Garfield's going to have to go out and get some candy, some loot, so he has to go get a costume. So he goes out and he scares John, drops a pumpkin on his head and stuff. He offers him breakfast. Garfield says no, but casually takes all the breakfast and leaves. Then they have to go find a costume. Luckily, John doesn't throw anything out, so Garfield and Odie have their share. At first, I'm like, he's not going to take Odie, is he? He is. He realizes that Odie could also carry a sack, so they get twice as much candy. But he offers Odie a full piece of his own candy, so don't worry, he didn't leave him out. And then they get a cool song when they're looking through John's old costumes. What should I be?
What should I be? There's so many sides to me.
And they're like going through all the different costumes, and they pick out pirate costumes. They put on a few different ones before that. It's really funny. And you also get to hear Garfield. Of course, he's taking Odie. There's just a little soliloquy for like a whole minute where he's just cracking jokes about Odie.
Odie's so stupid he'd have to stand on a chair to raise his IQ.
Just making fun of him. It's great. He makes fun of John too. They decide to be pirates, though. He's the captain, Orangebeard, the pirate. And then Odie's going to be his first mate. He comes out with 4 peg legs on. He can't even stand up. Garfield has to take a wooden sword, knock them all down. It's
Odie the stupid. You be having a mite too many peg legs there, matey.
It's awesome. Then John gives him some sacks, and away they go. You get a nice yo-ho-ho song going, like they're pirates when they get out there.
Yo-ho-ho-ho, over the raging sea we go.
Then they start going to loot the neighborhood. Candy. Gotta get it all.
Candy. Garfield, you are a genius.
So as they're going, you get some, it's really funny. They go from door to door, trick-or-treating. Garfield threatens people with his sword and stuff to get extra candy. It's awesome. And then, of course, when they're going, they see different people in costumes, and Odie's getting scared. Garfield shows one of them, just pulls the mask. It's just a face. Then you get a cool song, another cool song. Scaredy cat, but the one thing I'm not is a scaredy cat.
All of that, but the one thing I'm not is a scaredy cat.
Sorry, I'm a horrible singer. But Garfield goes around and he pulls up a ghost. It's like a giant foot. Another ghost, there's a vampire under there. Another ghost, he lifts it up. There's just nothing underneath. So they make a run for it. It's awesome. And see all the different kids in costumes, and Garfield and Odie get their big sacks full of loot. They've pretty much, he says, when they're leaving the house, he's like, let's go, Odie. We've got a village to pillage. And they certainly do pillage the entire village. And of course, Garfield, if nothing, is a perfectionist. And like any good pirate, now that the village has been pillaged, yar, he looks across the water to the next nation to pillage. He sees houses over there. So he gets in like a random rowboat. Why is that there? Who knows? But Garfield and Odie, they commandeer it to get candy. Then they start rowing out to this mysterious island. Well, I say row out, but when they get going, Garfield says, Odie, grab the paddles and let's shove off. And Odie proceeds to just throw the paddles out. So they're just, at the mercy of the ocean, Garfield says. So they're just kind of drifting.
Put out the oars.
So as they're drifting, they drift out to this mysterious haunted-looking island with a house on it with like one light in it. And Garfield's like, oh, this place isn't scary. Then lightning goes off. Garfield's like, oh, nice touch.
Nice touch.
He says, I love that. He does that in a lot of them. He's awesome. So they go on up to the house and they're, oh, we can't find anyone, but there's a fire going. That was the light. Let's warm ourselves up. So when they go over by the fire, it's like, there's an old man behind them. And he has like a scary face. And he's like, sit down. And Garfield and Odie had to listen to this story about 100 years ago, how these pirates had all this gold and they buried it here, signed a contract and blah to come and get it in 100 years, which that's a long time. Why would you leave to get the treasure there that long? And they've all sworn to come back. And he's like, how do I know this? Because he had a 10-year-old cabin boy. I was that cabin boy. And like the adult in me is instantly like, this dude's 110. Wow, what's your secret? You look great. But anyway, they're like, what are we going to do? Let's just get out of here. And they turn around. The old man's gone. And of course, their boat is gone. Now Garfield and Odie are stuck there. And it's just about to be midnight. But it's all a story anyway, right? So then, of course, when the clock strikes midnight, ghosts appear out in the harbor. I gotta say, the animation on the ghosts to this day, I still find great. The white, creepy ghosts floating up and their look, super cool. So they start to come up to the house, and Garfield and Odie are like running around. We gotta hide, we gotta hide. They hide in a cupboard with like a little crack open in it. And you see the pirates come and lift up the treasure out of the floor, all the ghosts. They're pretty creepy. They move around. You see the lights. Garfield and Odie are hiding in the cupboard. It's actually a pretty genuinely, a little bit scary moment, especially for the kids. So then when the pirates get their treasure, they're like kind of hoarding it. And Odie just sneezes. And the doors just open. So then they go and they close them again after that. And they're like, well, hopefully they didn't see us. Let me tell you though, they see them when they float on in the cupboard, scares the heck out of Garfield. They're like, whoa, what the hell? They just make a run out to the harbor. When they get down to the dock, Odie smashes through the dock, but manages to save himself. And then they realize their only hope is to jump in the river and swim because the scary ghosts are coming after them. So they dive in the water, but of course Garfield can't swim. He's fat and he's a cat and doesn't want to, but he tries anyway. And they go in and it actually looks like Garfield's going to drown. He pots back up, grabs like a tree, but then he sort of falls down under. And you get an awesome moment. Odie can swim, of course. He's a dog doing the doggy paddle. He gets Garfield out of the water, saves him, and brings him back to shore. Woohoo! Great. Good thing that Garfield brought Odie some foresight that really helped out. So then when they're on the way over there, they're all miserable, like, oh, let's just get home. Then they actually see their old boat. All the candy's still in it. The 110-year-old guy didn't want that. So they get their sacks of candy and they go home. Success! And Garfield actually decides he's going to share the entire stuff that Odie collected. He's going to give Odie since he has saved his life a gazillion times that night, he says. Also put him in danger. You know, he's also the reason they're on the island, but hey, whatever. And then their Halloween is over till next time. But like I said, there's a couple other good songs in there. I love the music in this, and I just love the overall tone and the feel. It's a classic. It's an instant classic. If you haven't seen it, it's easy to find anywhere you watch stuff. You can find the Garfield Halloween special, and you should, especially if you have kids. It's a lot of fun. It's nostalgic for us older crowd. And it's fun and interesting for the newer crowd, especially if they're going to go trick-or-treating. But yeah, anyways, thanks so much for your time, guys. Really appreciate you watching this far. Totally hope you love Garfield. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to the video. And remember, everybody, stay out of trouble.